Hello, my kosher friends. Welcome back. If this is the first time joining us, I'm happy to have you here. What we're making in this video is going to be a veggie fajita. We have calabaza squash, we have poblano pepper, we have sweet red pepper, we have half of a sweet onion, we have some cilantro, we have some melted vegan butter. I'll explain that in a minute. We've got some salt, we've got our salt-free taco seasoning blend. Right there, we've got some diced up garlic, we've got lime zest from one full lime, we've got orange zest from a full orange, we've got half the lime sliced up and an eighth of that orange, just so you can see that. This is how it goes together. And so you have a size reference, but the star of the show tonight in this video is going to be blue oyster mushroom that has been marinated in gluten-free kosher Worcestershire. It is vegan, this was really interesting for me to source. I'm so glad we have it. And so we had a quarter cup of that. We had we had 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, blended them together, put them into a Ziploc bag, squeezed it together, got all the air out, let that marinate for a couple of hours in the fridge. You could get away with half an hour. And then we took it out, let it get back up to room temp to be ready for this dish. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, though, is tortillas, because if you're having fajitas, you need tortillas. Now this is what a tortilla looks like when you get it out from the store, out of the bag. That is not how you serve your tortillas. You need to cook them. You need to get them nice and moist and flexible. You want that little bit of char. You do that in a pan that has no oil in it. Get it decently hot. Turn it over, press it. A really good tortilla is going to puff up for you, but more on that later. So what we're going to start with is getting the mushrooms in the pan. So we're going to start by putting some oil in the pan. Now I'm going to grab the camera so Becca can run around and show you exactly what we're doing. We don't have a lot of production values here, so we're doing the best we can. Now this pan has been, I'm going to be honest, this pan's been on for about half an hour, so this oil is going to smoke pretty quick. And we're just going right around, and we're going to get this mushroom right in there. That pan is very hot, and this is what we do. And we put the lid on, and we're going to press down. And we're going to leave it like this for a minute. We're going to put some pressure on here. Part of what we're doing, we're trying to get a really good sear. We're trying to get all the moisture out of this. This is a technique that came from Derek Sarno in Wicked Kitchen. I've also seen the Edgy Veg use it, Sauce Dash, Miyoko. So this is quite a bit. This pan is so super hot. You use cast iron. We don't have cast iron. We have our all-clad. We are not sponsored by anybody, by the way. Anybody interested, we'll do it. But, as of today, we have 0 followers. So we're going to come off of there. Now, what we always do, we're always going to be wiping our pan. We don't want to keep that going in there. And we're going to go back one more time. And we're going to keep pressing. What's going to happen here is this is going to compress. It's going to turn into a really nice mushroom steak. We're going to put it back in the pan we took it from. Got a little piece of mushroom over here. We're going to put that in. And not worried about cross-contamination. This is a vegan recipe. Everything is kosher. Everything is vegan. So we're not worried about that sort of thing. But this is keeping the pressure down. This is pushing it down. This is getting the liquid out of it. We're going to give that a minute or two here. And part of why we want to do this is to really just get this as steaky as possible. Once we've got that out of the pan, we're going to throw in these other veggies, get them going. We're going to slice up the oyster mushrooms before they go back in so that we can actually get them into nice fajita-sized bites. So we're going to flip this one over. I think we've had it a little bit long enough. Oh, it has absorbed the oil, so we're going to throw some more in the pan real quick. And move that around and flip this. See the nice sear we're getting on there? Going to come back in. We're going to push down. Now, I might need to switch to a pot bottom because this lid fits quite perfectly and has a bit of a dome. We want to get more pressure. I was seeing it a little humped up on the middle there. So, but we're going to let this go for a minute. We're going to get some more sear on this. And part of the marinade that we did, the reason we did the Worcestershire and the tomato paste, the Worcestershire really, to me, screams steak. It's what my parents always marinated steaks in. But because we're using mushrooms, I needed something to give it that oomph, that metallic-y taste that you get from a steak. That's why we have the tomato paste in there. That gives it that the umami. It gives it that little bit of mineraliness that really, really, really makes it come alive. Let's take a look. That's coming nicely. We're just going to put that on there. I think we're actually okay. So I'm going to let that sit for a second. I'm going to change out my gloves. And part of what we're going to look at here, let's talk about why I have some of the things I do. And specifically, we're going to talk about this melted vegan butter. I used to work at a Mexican restaurant. Sizzling fajitas. What makes them sizzling fajitas? They put butter on them at the end, and that's why you don't get your fajitas to taste like they do at a restaurant. So we have vegan butter here, and that will give us that last little bit of flavor that you're going to notice when you go to a Mexican restaurant. And, sorry, just changing out the gloves because there was a tear coming up on one of those. So I want to make sure that I've got my hands covered up. I'm going to take another look. We're going to go one more flippy floppy. We're going to move it around in the pan a little bit. I'm going to rotate the pan. Now, I'm not worried about what's sticking to the pan at the moment. That is all going to come up. We're going to put some lime juice in there. We're going to put the veggies in there. That fond is flavor. There we go. I moved it to the side because, again, the lid has a bit of a dome. This is going to let me get more pressure on that side where we need it. Those handles are super hot, by the way. Usually you want to have something flat. If we had bigger mushrooms, the lid would be fine. This is a small one. By the way, that was about a ½ pound of the blue oyster mushrooms. So again, 1/4 cup of Worcestershire, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Whisk those together. Put them in a bag with this. Seal it. Squeeze out all the air. Let it marinate for a couple hours. And we're going to get one more flippy flop on here. And we're going to let that go for just another second. I did turn the heat down a little bit because we were super high because we've been on for so long. Again, when I've seen most people do this, they're using the cast iron pan. And I just don't happen to own one. Actually, the only one I have, oh, that looks gorgeous. Do you see that color in there? You see that sear? The only one I have is a grill pan. And I find that it's a pain to clean. Everything gets in between the grills. And honestly, if you want to sear it, you want to sear everywhere. If you just get the grill marks, you're just getting sears and stripes. And why is that? All right. This is going to come out of here in just a second. This onion skin. All right, let's get this. Oh, you know what? Give me another minute. I just saw all that liquid. We're going to go one more minute in there. Move around, loosen this up. Okay. Just a quick thing. So we're almost there. Now, the intensity of flavor we're going to get out of this is going to be mind-blowing. And a little more pressure on that. All right, I'm going to call it for that for now. This is going to come back in the pan later, so it's going to get a little more cooked. It's going to combine with all the flavors of everything else. Don't take stuff out of the pan the way I just did. So, what goes in next? A little bit more oil, because we're a little lean on oil at the moment. And I like to swirl the pan around, make sure I get coverage everywhere. You always want to see that your oil is free flowing. This pan is so hot, it is almost instantly there. And we're going to come in with the onions first. Love that sizzle. Now, when we do this, we want to add salt as we go. So we're going to get this just a quick second. We're going to toss it around. Going to let that fond loosen up just a little bit. This onion, by the way, a little violent. Oh, you know what? That's a little too dark. We're going to pull that out. We're going to pull that out. So it's aggressively make you cry onion. So getting a little hit of that right now. So it's starting to sweat nicely. One more pieces of black stuff coming out. We'll just put it there for a moment. A little sprinkle of salt. And stir that in. Now, I'm going to put the garlic in at this point. It's coming off this plate here. I never like putting garlic in first, too much chance for it to scorch. This is just going to be a minute. As soon as you start to smell the garlic, we're going to go in with the peppers. Now we do have just a little bit too much burnt onion, so we're pulling that out, clean off the counter in a bit. Okay, now I can smell the garlic. Let's put some peppers in there. Now, give that a little stir. When they start to soften, we're going to put just a hair more salt. And this is also the time we are going to add our taco seasoning. Now, the amount I have here is just so I've got a decent amount to hand. We go by taste. We're going to put a little bit in, give it a go, taste it, give it a go, taste it until we feel like we've got the right amount. You're going to want at least, in my opinion, at least 2 teaspoons of it if you like it mild. I like things a little bit more spicy. That just needs another second here. Just a hint of salt. And just a little bit of taco seasoning. You better stir around. Oh, that aroma's starting to hit already. Now, we're going to throw in our calabaza. And we're going to give everything a stir. We're going to scrape this forward. Get off out of there. Ah, good enough. Get in there. Now, I'm going to take the mushrooms over to the cutting board. And I'm going to pull out a knife. I'm going to go down to one glove. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice this up as well. So we're going for strips that you can put onto a tortilla and make your own little wrapped up taco. Super simple. It's a little big. Give it a feel through. I can feel some of these. You can feel that they need a little more cook. I mean, the idea was to get the sear on there, get that flavor on there, which is what this will have done. Now, I did not add salt to these at all because the Worcestershire had a good amount of salt to it. There's a lot of umami in that. We've got the mushrooms that have a ton of umami. I'm going to reach back over here, give this a stir because I did not do that in the first place. That was stupid. Just let me squash it on top for no good reason. Get that going again. Now that's not good enough for me. Taste of pepper. Salt is perfect. A little bit more taco seasoning. And just need a hint. Now, the next thing to go in, and I do this, the squash isn't where it needs to be yet, but we do this at this point, is the orange and the lime zest, not the juice. The juices go in right towards the end because they will cook out. So those go right as you're about to finish and take it off the heat. You put the juices in early, all their flavor comes away, and you will have nothing. The oils in the zest, though, that gets all the way through everything. You can handle the cooking while you bake with it. Oh, if you could smell it right now. I love that aroma. So, that needs to go for a minute and get nice and soft in terms of the squash. We want that to cook down a little bit more. I am going to take this mushroom liquid here, twist that up a little bit, and put that right back in. mushrooms back over to this pan so I can just dump them right in without having to mess around too much. I'm going to take a little tasty taste. I'm going to give my wife a little tasty taste. Give her a healthy tasty taste. Mmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's really good. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Stir. Now I do have some water measured out on the side here. This is in case I feel like I need it to get things softened up towards the end to release some fond. But we're going to see how we go. All right. I feel like that's good. We're going to go ahead and put these mushrooms in. And get this over the sink. Now, give this another stir around. Now, what we're going to do at this point, I'm going to get the lid laid out. And I am going to give it a little splash of water before I do that. So, take that off my hand. I don't need that anymore. A little splash of water. Put it back up in here. And my ginormous lid from my ginormous pan. And that's going to steam for a minute. This is a good time, as any, to go ahead and get things moved up, clean up a little bit, get the stuff that's stuck on the board off of the board. This is going to go pretty quickly. Now we have the cilantro here. Don't know if I mentioned that before. So this has got the stems and all. Those are the tender stems of it. Those are going to go in. They can stand to cook a little bit. So we're going to go, actually probably in about 10 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. I have made a mess of this. This is what happens, by the way, with your cloth as you wipe up the mushroom juice off the counter. So let's go ahead and pop this lid. Get some cilantro in there. Good enough. And a little bit of a stir. So again, cilantro, leaves, stems, all. If you don't like cilantro, that issue where it tastes like soap to you, don't use it. Not a big deal. And if you remember, our taco seasoning has Mexican oregano in it, gives it a lot of good flavor. So we're going to cover this again. This is getting very, very close. You see all that fond? Most of it's come up. And that's flavor that's gotten in here. And that is what we want. And so let's turn it up again. And we are about 2 minutes. 2 minutes from having this ready. I don't think we need any more salt. I'm going to get our cutting board out of here. Now, if you'd seen our earlier videos, and there are only a couple of them, actually I need that stuff. Get this out of here. We made a vegan queso, and I cut short because I didn't think there was any reason for you to have to watch another couple of minutes of me making this. Look how gorgeous. Creamy, delicious. I'm going to have a bite. Oh my God. Now, the extra blending was needed. When I poured it out before, it was still a little on the chunky side. I apologize, I'm talking with my mouth full. At least you can't see it. But this is so delicious. Oh my God. Anyway, for a Mexican feast, we need our queso. Now we're going to go ahead, open up this pan. Oh, lovely. Now we're going to squeeze in our 8 pieces of orange with a good smush. And we're going to do the lime. This is why I should have left my glove on. And a little more lime. And a little more lime. Not that much lime. There we go. All right. And that goes into the garbage disposal. Oh, and that is burning my hand. Give me a quick stir. Oh, this is absolutely luscious. See the juices down there. See all the color. We're going to cover this for just a minute. I'm going to turn the heat up also. So we're going back up to 6, which is where we were sitting for way too long before I got this video started. And we're going to give that just a moment here. Then we're going to add the butter, and then we're going to plate it up. Now we have our tortillas in a tortilla warmer. We are in Texas. You are legally required to have a tortilla warmer. It's not an option. They come and check your house. So these, you keep them in the warmer to keep them pliable, to keep the steam in them. They have been sitting for a while though, because we got ahead of ourselves here. I'm going to put them in. We have a microwave steamer. So I'm going to give these just a couple seconds in the microwave. We do not need to shoot that. But you're going to see in a second how nice and pliable they are. So, let's take a look. Oh, it's like the best facial in the world. Alrighty, look at all that beauty. Fabulous. All right, we're ready. Let's get this plated. I just got water all over my platter. Let's clean that up. I just realized I'm using my tortilla warmer tub. Oh well. Such is life. Now, before we take it out, our vegan butter. And give that a stir. Now, I've already turned off the heat, which is fine. Literally just turned off the heat after we turned it up for a minute. So, get that mixed in there. That is going to add richness. There's a little bit of salt in that vegan butter, so you get that hit as well. And let's get this onto the platter. Now, obviously, this is for sharing. Half pound of those beautiful blue oyster mushrooms, a whole poblano, red pepper, and you notice it was like equal amounts of red pepper to the poblano, and then an equal amount of calabaza and onion to the combined pepper amount. I like to get that ratio. I'm going to step around my wife so we don't burn her with the pan. Now, my plating obviously needs work, but we've got that. We've got our queso. We've got a steamed tortilla. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to serve ourselves one of these. And there are my tongs. And this tortilla is so hot from being steamed. Now, you can put your queso on here. You don't have to put your queso on here. This is fabulous as it is. I am going to give it a drizzle of queso, though. Get a spoon out of here. Oops. Oh. And I'm going to take a bite off camera. You don't need to see me chew. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so delicious. It's all vegetarian. It's actually all vegan. The flavor is intense. The cheese, non-cheese cheese pushes it right over the top. I'm going to take the camera. And Becca, you have a bite. Well, I drool in jealousy.
So good.
Absolutely. So, folks, that is our blue oyster mushroom veggie fajitas with our queso. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this, hit like and subscribe. If you make it yourselves, please take pictures, post them for me. We'd love to see it. And always a pleasure. Look forward to talking to y'all again.